Let's start by defining action research. If you look at these two definitions, you will see it's about us as professionals studying our own practice in order to improve it. And very often this will involve learning or improving our skills, techniques and strategies. And in the context of this tutorial, we're looking at EduTech tools as a key resource in helping us to do some of our professional work better. Now, in the context of teaching, what this means is that we may have some concern to do with our curriculum, to do with student learning. It might be student motivation specifically. How do we provide timely feedback to students? Many, many things that vary from teaching situation to teaching situation. So we gather data to get a better picture of what's going on. Then, based on this, we do something to try to improve it. Similarly, in administrative work, it's about the effectiveness and efficiency of the work processes, the activities that we do, the services we provide. So we might be looking at how some of these tools can improve, say, an administrative function to make it more user-friendly. That's just one example. Now let's move on and have a look at the action research process, because that's the really meaty area. Okay. As you can see in the diagram, there's a number of steps. But if you look at the top, we're identifying the problem. What is it that we're concerned about? Where might there be an area for improvement? So we gather our data. And we gather our data from our stakeholders. As teachers, it may be from students, invariably, from other colleagues, as administrators, from the people that we actually provide services to. So we gather that data from, could be questionnaires, informal interviews, whatever is most relevant to get the best picture, because we need to interpret that data, and we want to interpret data that's meaningful so we can act on that data. In other words, that our action is based on the evidence. And that's where we come up with our plan, our innovation, if you like, that will involve some EduTech tools. And it may be more than one tool. In other words, we use what we think is going to have the best impact to improve the situation. And we implement it, and then we observe what happens. Basically, we gather more data, we evaluate the results. And based on that evaluation, we then go on to the next steps. In this situation, we may find that we've made some ground, that we've made some improvements. We may find that there's new questions emerging. Essentially, that's how action research works. It's an ongoing, and to use the posh methodological term, it's an iterative process. We don't always get the best final solutions immediately. This often happens over time, and perhaps that's why it's called continuous improvement. Now, here's a really big point. You do not have to be an expert researcher to do action research. However, it is important to follow those broad steps thoughtfully. So, what are the benefits? Let's have a summary. Firstly, better understanding of practice with a view to improving practice. In this process, we are supporting collaborative professional learning. We're helping ourselves, our colleagues, to do the work that they do better. And very importantly, we're doing it in the context of SP. Our way, in our systems, with our people. Let's finish with a nice quote, which summarizes it. What are we doing? Well, we want to promote personal and professional growth, to improve practice, to enhance student learning, and enhance the teaching profession. Because ultimately, we're all in this together to improve what we do as an educational institution.